Such a contrast from where we just were. Nobody here.
They think it's like another country.
How old do you think I am?
The last 11 years on her birthday, she skydived.
A lot of old school values still out here.
So it's your family's town. Best beach I've had in years. Just a simpler life. It is for some, not for others. Oh, wow.
There's a December of 44.
We feed Chicago, but Chicago runs the whole state.
Compton's sister city over here. These towns keep on giving.
Life is not worth thinking negative thoughts.
Most of the United States people are very nice. It's just you don't always see it portrayed that way in the media.
Good morning, guys, here in beautiful downtown Chicago. But today's video is not about Chicago. It's about 1-2 hours outside of the city, the countryside, a completely different world. So today we're gonna go on a road trip, get lost on some back roads, meet the locals, hear what they have to say, and learn a thing or two. Let's do this. Instead of tall buildings, we have tall corn. About an hour and a half outside of Chicago, and check out the names of these towns out here. We have Sandwich, Sublet, Pawpaw, Buda, Norway, Earlville, Love, Palmyra. It's a Syrian city. Let's check this out. Peaches. Could go for a nice peach right now. Look at this. Nobody here. And this is what's so cool about the countryside. That trust, right? Just come on my property, grab some food, leave some money. Hear that owl? The birds? Don't know if I'll finish these today. Best peach I've had in years. That is homegrown for sure. You can't bring these peaches in your car. They'll be all over the place. They got the hammock right there under the tree. Endless corn for a lifetime. Big skies out here. Just a simpler life. It is for some, not for others. I like both, actually, I gotta say. I like the urban environment. I like the country environment. Lately, more nature though. Just seeing all this greenery. Downtown Sandwich. Nice little town. But I think we can do better, guys, because Sandwich is off a main road. And when you start getting out here, you can see the big urban sprawl of Chicago. We finally got out of it. There are places like Rollo here. Let's check that out. Does it have streets? A couple. Okay, so we got a few streets there. Oh, there's Pawpaw. Get on these back roads, hopefully meet some farmers. That's the goal. A lot of them, I bet, haven't even been to Chicago. I bet there's some people out here, the further you go, maybe they've been there once or twice in their lives, but it's just like this beast on the periphery of their lives. Two different worlds, very dependent on each other. You gotta love Rollo. The biggest structure is the grain silo. There's a sign that says it's for sale. What you could do with this? It's interesting, just a couple houses with a nice church. There used to be a general store over there.
You're right.
And then this was a town, right?
Rollo is called.
Rollo.
Some say Rollo, some say Rollo.
So who lives in the town now?
Just me and my wife and son and his wife. 4 of them.
So it's your family's town.
Yeah.
How's that?
I love it. It's quieter now.
Little different than Chicago, huh?
Really.
You guys go there much, Chicago, or no?
I don't like them big towns.
All right, I'm gonna check out the church. Is it okay if I check out the church? Is it your church?
We go to the church.
Probably locked up.
How many people go to this church here?
Yeah, a few, probably 50 a week.
50 a week. Okay. Take care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
See you later.
This is interesting. So on the map, it looks like a little town, but it's basically this family's property, built in 1913. Get some nice stained glass in there. Oh, it's on the National Register of Historical Places. Oh, it's unfortunate. Oh, that looks so cool in there. Oh, too bad. Oh, we got Compton on the west side. How about that? The Berg, West Brooklyn. These towns keep on giving. Let's check those places out.
If you take this around, it's Shabner Road. This is Chicago Road and goes out to Paw Paw.
What's out? Any restaurants there?
I don't know if the bar is open anymore or not,
Okay.
but there's the Beaver Den is in Paw Paw.
Oh, cool. So everyone farms out here? What is everyone doing out here?
I don't know. It was a bunch of traffic coming through here lately, but I'm coming back from a farm sale.
Okay.
That was yesterday, and I farm and I drive truck full time, but I farm part time.
So all the corn I'm seeing out here, are these massive corporations that own this or smaller farms?
No, just small farms, family farms.
That's
They
cool.
they're between 500 and 2,500 acres right around here. The only big massive corporate farms that you might see is there's one about 4 miles north of my house.
And you guys holding on to that, or are the corporates coming in?
We're holding on pretty good.
Cool.
Those guys, the only reason why he's corporate, he went bellied up 4 times. So then a big company had to come in and take them over because they owed so much money to them.
So the mom and pops are hanging on out here.
Yeah.
Is it a livable career out here?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to, I make a pretty good living at it, so.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How's trucking these days?
I'm busy all the time. I'm always gone. I travel all the Midwest and I haul farm machinery, not like this, but bigger.
So what do you feel about the country when you're out in the country and then you come back to where you live?
Well, that's like where I live and where I go, everyone's about the same. We're all get to easy going. We don't.
Low stress out here.
Yeah,
Huh?
there's nothing too concerned about us, and we just hang out, drink beer, hang out. When I was driving truck full time for my dad, I was going to Chicago 4 days a week because there's a mill in there that's 100 years old, and they haven't moved it yet. So we go in 2 times a day, and then I would go in at midnight and get a load of feed to come out to feed cows with. So,
What do you think about Chicago?
it's just not. I don't like going
It's
there
not
at
your
all.
thing.
Chicago runs Illinois. That's way everyone out here says.
It's the engine of the state.
Yeah.
But you guys feed Chicago.
Yeah, we feed Chicago, but Chicago runs the whole state. Springfield might be the capital of Illinois, but Chicago is. That's where J.B. Pritzker's all the time.
So it's really 2 different worlds right next to each other.
Yeah. I've met people that lived in Chicago all their life, never knew there was a farm out here.
Seriously.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. I'm in Chicago. I'm making videos on Chicago,
Yep.
and I thought, all right, that's one perspective of Illinois. I want to get out into the countryside because it's totally different. I know it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, man. The ancestry out here in northern Illinois, is it Scots? Is it Swedes? What is it?
It's everyone. So I'm Norwegian. We're 7th generation farmer Norwegian. There's some Germans around here, and there's a lot of Irish around here too. If you drive around, you might see farms that have Century Farm plaques on their farm, and so they've been there a full century.
Oh, that's what that
Those
means.
same families lived on that farm for a full century.
So this corn, is this going into Doritos potato chips, or where's this corn ending up?
So this corn mostly ends up either going to the Illinois River and gets shipped on a barge down the river, gets loaded on a container ship and goes overseas.
Where's it go overseas? Asia or Europe?
Both. It depends on who wants it the most.
So we have in the United States, we have a food surplus right now?
Yeah, we always have a food surplus. One farmer feeds 350 people in America now.
So there's a lot of you guys.
Yeah, well, We're smaller and smaller. I think we're down to 2 million farmers in the U.S. right now.
Okay, out of 330 mil.
Yes. The government's got us pushing so hard with the DEF on our tractors.
On the what? With the what on your chart?
The DEF.
What's that?
The diesel exhaust fluid. And like, what was it, 20 years or 10 years that we're supposed to go all electric. Well, for us to do electric out here on the farms, those electric tractors would have to be able to last 12 hours in one field, just working ground. Well, you could do it, but now you're talking you got to stop, or the tractor's got to have twice the amount of batteries as a diesel tank to keep us running. You look at the telephone poles.
Yeah.
Those telephone poles have been there for 40 years. Now you're going to want to run everything off electricity. Who's going to come out and fix those telephone poles? If we have a major snowstorm or whatnot, and we got to plow snow, and we have electric plow trucks, and the plow trucks aren't charged because the batteries died overnight because it got too cold.
So do you guys worry about this?
Yeah, we worry about this all the time. It's a major concern about going electric out here in the country. Electricity is nice, don't get me wrong, but you're never going to replace it on the diesel engine or the gas engine, because there's so much demand for oil and gas, and you can't just replace it with electricity overnight. And they want to do it in 10 years. Well, 10 years is still not enough.
You'd have to change all your equipment out and everything.
Yep.
The windmills up here, they're fiberglass blades?
So the blades are fiberglass with a metal, like they have metal structures, but fiberglass outside. And then that windmills only last 20 to 25 years. Then you have to tear them down, rebuild them. And
you sure about that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all these windmills out here are 25, 30 years old, and they've been taking them down and rebuilding them. And what they do is they just cut the bolts, drop them on the ground, they flop right over, break everything up, they put a brand new windmill on. Everything else goes to the landfill. All these windmills are pretty much powered in Chicago. Everything that gets on, because there's solar farms over by my dad's house, just north of Somnock. They're putting solar farms in. There's a guy that wants to put 3,000 acres into solar farms on good, productive ground. And all that solar power is going to go up and power Chicago.
How do you guys feel about that?
I don't like it, because it's a 20-year lease. At the end of the 20-year lease, the company has the right if they want to renew it or not. So and it's not up to the farmer. If they say in 20 years they say, oh, we don't want to renew it, well, now it's like, all right, whose responsibility to pull all the solar panels out of there? Because the solar panels, if you damage one of those solar panels and the chemical comes out on it, that ground, you can't farm that ground for 100 years. You have to take all that dirt out, take it to a specialty landfill, and bring new dirt in to farm.
They're pretty toxic?
Yeah.
So you guys aren't for the renewables out here?
We are, but just not take up precious farmland. They don't make farmland every day. We're losing farmland constantly around here. It's easy for someone to come out and be like, oh, this is a good area for solar panels. Yeah, it's a good area for solar panels. But why are we taking the heat for putting solar panels up? I don't want a 200-acre field of solar panels by my house. There's warehouses in Chicago that are 200-300 acres, a flat roof. Why can't they have solar panels up there?
What a cool guy, Nelson. So if you're new to this channel, that's pretty much the MO, getting locals to speak. I ask questions, let them run free. I have no clue where it's going. I mean, I can guess. I've been rural America. I'm sure it votes very Republican out here, so politically I know where people stand for the most part, but you always learn something from someone living a different lifestyle than your own. So for example, Nelson sees corn and land and agriculture out here, so a solar panel is a threat, and I'm talking from his perspective, to that. Potentially they leach chemicals, the land can't be used again. You know, if solar panels start taking over field by field, what happens, you know, 10, 20, 30 years out? He's thinking, look, we don't use much energy out here, I mean, compared to the acreage we live on, you know, but we're sending all the energy to Chicago. Why don't they put the solar panels on top of their buildings? It's not to say solar panels are great or they're bad, or windmills are great or bad, but it's just to understand where people are coming from. Everyone has a reason for their beliefs, whether you agree with them or not.
Originally, Papaw was 3 towns. You had East Papaw, West Papaw, and Papaw.
You don't get many tourists?
No,
The city folk don't come out here?
on Labor Day.
But that's it. This is new since the pandemic here. Nice place. You're both from Chicago, but you decided to move
here.
Okay, how's it been so far?
Great. It's a wonderful place to live.
How have the locals taken you in?
Well, there's no burning crosses on our front. That's good.
Have you made friends?
Yeah. We live in a small part of town with
In Compton.
Yeah.
What's going on in Compton, Illinois?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's like
Bloods and
It
Crips?
used to be a railroad town. Back in 1830s, stagecoaches came through, and they went out west, and the entire town moved to where the railroads were, which
Yeah.
is about 5 miles from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why was this town important before?
It was another stop on the stagecoach route for the cattle drives.
Cattle drives. From where to somewhere to Chicago?
Iowa to Chicago. The stockyards in Chicago.
So the slaughterhouses were in Chicago?
Yeah.
in downtown Chicago with the slaughter yards, with the stockyards.
In 2004, I had a really high pressure job, and there was a lot of property for sale out here. And I thought, hey, it would be really nice to have a weekend house somewhere that's commutable. You know, it's only an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to the city. And I built a house out here.
Oh, cool.
And it was a weekend house at first. And over the years, I got more and more comfortable being away from the city. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I really don't like being in the city. I like the quiet. I like the nature. I like the cool, sort of no stress vibe.
Yeah.
A gay couple living in the rural Midwest would be kind of pariahs. But no, I mean, we get invited to block parties and we're welcome just about everywhere. We don't know what people are saying behind our backs, of course, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. I changed careers. I work out here.
Political stripes don't matter.
No, and I'm sure, without a doubt, we are the only Democrats within probably 10-mile radius.
But you don't feel the friction.
No.
That's
no,
so
people
cool.
are pretty much nice everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if you always see it in media focused on, extreme people who are, hateful and going out of their way to be mean or whatever. But for the most part, most of the United States people are very nice people.
Right.
It's just you don't always see it portrayed that way in the media.
There are conversations, things that come up, and we just redirect those conversations so we're not having those political dialogues.
I mean, yeah, there's a guy down the street who has a Trump flag flying all year round. But,
Yeah, Trump 2024.
but we're friends with them and we're nice with them,
Being Chicagoans and then living out here, you know both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
What do people in Chicago not understand about out here, the perspective out
Oh my
here?
God, they think it's like another country. Getting our friends from Chicago to come out here is ridiculous.
That's too far.
Yeah, they can't take a cab.
And it's funny though, because it takes them an hour to get somewhere in Chicago.
To go 4 miles.
Yeah, to go 4 miles and then
Coming out here is like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
You think it's a lack of curiosity?
maybe it's a lack of motivation. Maybe it's not understanding what the benefits are. I mean, this is the restaurant. There are no options. You can't go grocery shopping. You can't go clothes shopping. You can't,
there's no Starbucks.
There's no
McDonald's.
Starbucks.
Where do you
no
go
McDonald's.
grocery shopping?
I order every week from Walmart.
In Rochelle, which is
Yeah.
about 20 miles,
Yeah.
20 minutes away.
Yeah, I work near there, so they load up the car, I come home.
But it's an inconvenience worth it to be out here.
Oh yeah.
We have a wonderful garden. I used to keep bees. We're going to have chickens, and
We have a
it's
beautiful
much more
prairie.
sustainable.
Planted a prairie. It's all native species. We really like it. It's very calm. It's quiet. No noise pollution. No air pollution. No light pollution.
See the stars at night.
See the stars at night.
Windmills are absolutely massive. Check this out here. I guess that's all fiberglass. That's what he was saying. Yeah, I think so. All right, guys, so I just walked up to this barn, talked to this family for about a half hour. They don't want to be on camera. I asked them about the windmills. What are their thoughts out here? It's pretty simple. If you're leasing to the company to have the windmill in your field, you're liking it because you're making passive income basically. But if you're not, you don't like them. So this area in Illinois is one of the first, I guess, in the state. These windmills came in around 2000. They've already been replaced, a lot of them. They were smaller before, now they're bigger. And so it's nothing new here, but in some of the areas where they're sort of going out into, there's a lot of friction with the locals, a lot of signs saying don't put up the windmills. So like most topics in life, it's complicated, depends who you talk to. So the first guy we talked to, he was against it. These guys are for it.
How old do you think I am?
I'm just gonna say 62.
You're a beautiful person. I've had people say 67 and 68, but on May 31st, I was 90 years old.
90.
And on June 3rd, they gave me a birthday party. And on June 4th, I skydived for my 11th time.
Skydive.
Oh my God. What's the secret?
I don't know. Good genes, I guess.
You know,
Your jeans are nice. They're short, but
And I do not take any medication at all.
never.
Never.
You've never taken anything.
Well, I had like broken wrists, and I've had a couple surgeries, but that's the only thing just to get everybody.
Do you eat
No.
super healthy?
No, not especially. I was a farmer's wife, meat and potatoes.
So what do you got? You got a yard sale going on here.
This is the yard sale, but in here
Okay.
is the machine shed sale.
Ooh.
It's like a yard sale or a garage sale, only everything is brought into the machine shed. And this is my mother's Avon collection, and I'm trying to get, use it. And these things have probably been packed away for 30 years.
Interesting. How is the community? Do you love it out here?
I love it. I've lived in this community since I was married, and I was married in 1954.
Do you remember World War II?
Oh yeah, I had brothers that were in World War II, yeah. And at that time, we were not able to know where they were or what they were doing for 3 to 6 months.
You were writing letters, or how did it
we
work?
were writing letters, but sometimes you wouldn't get the letters for several weeks. And then at one time, they had to be censored. The letters had to be censored.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you remember you were a kid, but what did it feel like at that time?
Well, like you said, I was a kid. The only thing that I do remember is that we did have ration books. We had stickers that you got so many stickers for coffee, you got so many stickers for sugar, you got so many stickers for tires. One time my mother was looking, I think it was a Life magazine, and she said, "There's John." That was my oldest brother. And it was a picture of him and two buddies looking over all these bodies that had been laid out, that had been killed because of the war.
Did he come back?
Yes, he came back. Mm-hmm. I have some magazines. It's called Yank. You ever hear of a Yank?
No.
During World War II, that was a special magazine that was made for the servicemen.
You have Yank here?
I'll
buy that. Oh, wow.
Here are the Yank magazines. 5 cents.
1945. Oh, look at that. That's so cool.
You
Look at
maybe
that.
want to look at the time, the date, maybe an earlier one.
Oh, look at that one.
Are we getting...
The war against winter on the Western Front. Definitely want that one. Look at that, trench warfare.
There's a December of 44, and there's another December.
Oh, that's a cool one. So at this time, you were a kid, but this was a time we just didn't know where the world was going, right?
That's
completely.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
So right now feels very stable to you, America, compared to these times?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
You can compare prices and everything every time you turn around. They were 5 cents a piece.
Okay.
at that time.
How much do you want to sell them for?
50 cents a piece.
50 cents?
Uh-huh.
I'll pay more than that.
Well, whatever.
I'll donate to the cause. This is cool stuff. You don't think negative thoughts?
Not very often, no. Life is not worth thinking negative thoughts.
So you're an optimist.
Wrinkles in your forehead.
Well, you have less wrinkles than me, so what is that saying?
This one. And so what have you got? You got two aces. You got two pair of twos. Not much. Not much.
Oh, that's cool. What's that?
It's a shoelace tightener for pulling your shoelaces.
Yeah, I always needed one of these.
Yeah.
I don't know how I lived without it.
Yeah, right.
But years and years ago, you know, they laced their shoes halfway up their leg.
Right.
And so that would go through the hole and pull the lace through, and then you could tighten your shoe down.
Marge, do you remember using one of those?
No, I didn't have to use one of those. You know,
Tell
I'm
us the
old,
most-
but I'm not old.
Hey, say it. This woman doesn't take any prescription medicine
See, you
at
wouldn't
all.
believe me.
Nothing. No prescription medicine. No blood pressure medicine. No nothing. All she takes is some vitamins.
Do you go to the doctors?
When I need to. And I have a yearly physical.
Hey, she can outwork all of us when it's 90 out. I'm telling you, I'm like, oh.
Look at Marge go.
I want her to marry me, but she says I'm too old.
How old are you?
76.
Yeah. Marge, you need what, a 55-year-old?
Well, no, not.
The last 11 years on her birthday, she skydived.
Yeah, we told him that.
Yeah. Yep. And she's going to do it every year until she dies.
You're not married now? You didn't remarry?
No.
Okay.
Somebody asked me, are you going to get remarried? And I said, no. I was under my father's thumb for 21 years. I under my husband's thumb for 42 years. No more thumbs. I'm on my own.
What if you met the right guy?
Oh, we'd have a good time.
All right, 55 to 70, is that the range we're looking at?
I'd say 70 to 60, 85. 70, 85.
Yeah. He's in.
She's had plenty of like dancing partners over the years. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
Do you have a good dance?
I love to dance.
Maybe that's my problem. I don't dance.
Yeah, that always helps.
The other problem is she thinks I'm her son.
That doesn't work either, yeah. No, we're not in the south side of Los Angeles. It's Compton's sister city over here in Illinois. Has Leon always been camera shy?
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember that.
I got the camera pointed right at the phone, so I don't show him. I understand.
He's only known me for about 18 years, so.
I knew his dad. Leon grew up right under my nose, and I didn't realize it until he was 30 or something like that.
I went to school in Paw Paw, so I've been around this area for 50 years, but not in Compton.
Leon, can I film the back of your shirt? Would that be cool?
Sure.
Straight out of Compton. You know, I've made a lot of videos in Compton, in South Central Los Angeles.
Really?
I make videos, everything from the Amish to the Bloods and Crips and everything in between.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, I go in deep. I was in Southside yesterday, Chicago. Now I'm out here.
Southside's a little rough.
Feeling with the right people, but yeah, it's
But
it's
you don't know
finicky.
who you are, what you're doing, or who to talk to, or who not to talk to.
That's true.
It could be weird, I guess. The joke is, when you're driving like a truck with stuff on it, you don't stop at stop signs.
In Southside.
Yes.
Are you a truck driver?
No, but I've hauled through their equipment and done work out there when I was younger. So.
Okay.
But I mean, it's probably half true, I bet.
Okay.
Leon, where is that?
South side of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's so interesting. You guys are like, people from Chicago are scared of you guys, and then you guys are scared of them a bit. There's like two different worlds right next to each other, you know?
Yep.
That's really true. One time I was in Chicago at a trade show. Anyhow, I was in a bar once, and I happened to sit next to a salesman who used to pass through Compton, and he mentioned that he was afraid that if he stopped at this particular bar, it was a pretty rough place. And I was just amazed that he had that perception, because Well, I guess there's some mean people in Compton back in the years, but I don't think there's any more.
Right, that's interesting. And then you guys, Southside, there's like nice parts of Southside too. Southside's pretty big, you know. There are nice parts. There's some harder hitting parts.
Yeah, yeah.
Howard, who named the town Compton?
There was a family originally named Compton that owned the 80 acres that the town sits on, and it was prior to 1875 or thereabouts.
No relation with South Central Los Angeles.
None whatsoever.
Okay.
Are you up at Jerry's right now, or what?
I'm going to Jerry's. I'm looking for it. It's over here somewhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Jerry's Bar?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been remodeled, so it doesn't look like it did years ago, but I mean, just like this year.
It lost its charm?
Yes.
Oh, it's all generic now?
Yeah.
It looks like they put roofing material on the inside, as I understand it. I haven't been in since they...
It's weatherproofed.
Yeah.
I've been in there twice. I don't recall that, but they put vinyl flooring. It looks nice. It's modern. Doesn't look like Jerry's.
It's not the feel of Compton.
No, not at all.
Wow, I haven't seen it since then, Leon. So it's a very, to use a big word, bucolic life we lead. Very serene, very quiet. Birds all over the place. When the main north-south highway used to run right through Compton. It used to be 251. Now it's called 251. And there used to be some wicked train tracks right there in Compton that every time you cross the...
Okay, so these are the big events of Compton history, which in my sarcastic way is a good thing, right? Because you're like, you don't have a lot of BS you got to deal with, right? It's like a calm life out here.
Yeah, it's very calm. It's also very, believe it, from infrastructure services, so that if you have a problem and you call the police, which is the sheriff, it takes him 20 minutes to get here, unless you happen to call at a time that they're on patrol.
Do you have any crime out here?
Not much.
Not much.
Okay.
Not really. There used to be a strong rivalry in the towns, mostly to which taverns you went to, and but there was
what towns?
Compton, West Brooklyn, and Pawpaw.
Gang turf wars or what?
No. Just farm folk and different religions, Protestants versus Catholics, and farmers versus blue collar workers.
Oh, interesting.
You know, stuff like. But there's a lot of all of that is pretty much gone now.
Okay, who won out in the competition? Are there any winners here?
Not yet, I guess. Just a minute here, Peter.
Yeah.
Okay. It was my nurse technician coming in and checking on something. Okay, I'm okay. So that competition is pretty well died down. I don't think there's as much drinking go on. Do you, Leon?
No, probably not. But back in the day, like you said, Papa had 3 bars and 2 restaurants.
Well, I'm going to go off to Jerry's because as much as I love this, I got to get a face on my camera.
Yeah, well, listen, Leon, I thought there was a deal going on at Jerry's now about straight out of Compton.
No, that was last week. They had some amateur wrestling stuff going on at a ring outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I missed that. The legendary Jerry's Bar with the new upgrade. If you want to meet the locals in a town like Compton, this is the place. How long have you two been together?
A year.
Young
year
lovers.
now. Yep.
Honeymoon? You over the honeymoon? You still in the honeymoon period?
We're definitely not in the honeymoon period.
Oh, okay.
That was a good time.
That was a good time.
You two are so cute.
But it's all love. It's all love.
Have you
Ashton, WACC, they took
Yeah, and how long
up
ago
there.
was that?
I graduated in 04, but they my kids are in.
Okay, what
took it out?
Took what out?
Pledge allegiance. Like you should be proud of it. You should be proud of where you're from. You know what I mean? You should be proud. Like I love America. Like I love us. Like we can go out in public and talk to any race, and it's like usually always like I've never had a problem.
Hanging out.
But then you see on the news, racism this, racism that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's not like that.
So a lot of people would say in Chicago, maybe even if they were black, they'd come out here, they'd have big problems. What's your take on that?
I guess it just depends on what they're about. You know what I mean? Because there's bad everywhere.
They come out and do something. They come out and hang out, have beers.
Yeah, if everyone's cool,
everybody's cool and all that. But that's when you start. Yeah, that's when you start getting into bringing like drugs out here and all that, and kind of being like bringing like the trash to your side. Because there's trash in every race. It doesn't really make a difference. You got bad people in everywhere. You got bad white people, bad yellow man or whatever, and all that.
There's bad people everywhere. There's
So true.
like grandparents have been racist. Like it's not like it's really not like that anymore. It's just not. Like we all get along, and
It's like our generation moved through that.
Yeah,
Gen X moved through
that
it.
whole Jason Aldean song. Like that's true. Like you're not gonna come here and like cause a problem, and everyone's just gonna let it go. Like,
no,
it's not
you
gonna
come in
happen.
here and cause a ruckus, you're gonna be
Like that's the truth. And he's not promoting violence, nothing like that. Like it's just. This is not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
It's a community.
I mean,
we're here for ourselves.
We're here for our people that live around us, our neighbors. I mean, I moved out here from Aurora, and every neighbor knows each other's and watches out for everybody, their property, everything, their kids.
Yeah.
We care about the kids going up and down the street
That's how
too
we was
fast.
raised.
Yeah, it's just
So
what it is.
no crime out here, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, they
Fireworks.
Fireworks
at
and burnouts.
2:30 in the morning.
Criminal.
Yeah, they
That
have
is
it.
criminal.
I mean,
around here. It's
Big
pretty
guns.
peaceful. I mean,
Big one.
no big murder, no like big murders, no big
Well,
shot, no one doing nothing.
If something happens, the neighbor knows, and then everybody gets on the person. That pretty much.
Okay, so there's accountability.
Very much so.
Like some kids out of line, all the families around are going to
Or
be.
like a kid's going through the stop signs or what, or a few kids are just riding their bikes crazy. A neighbor goes over and says, "Hey, your kids have been blowing this stop sign, and we're worried about him getting hit by traffic." And then the parent goes out and berates the kid and says, "Don't do that no more." You know, just what it is, I guess.
A lot of old school values still out here.
There you go. A little snapshot of what it looks like right outside of Chicago. Two big takeaways for me today. One, both rural America and urban America fear each other a little bit. In Chicago yesterday in the South Side, I heard people saying, they worry about going out to rural America. And I've heard the same here, people worrying about going into Chicago. But the truth is, people on both sides of the tracks here are very friendly. I've had nothing but good experiences. I think it's a cooked up divide. It's been around for probably ever. It's just gotten, I think, a bit worse with the media and our politicians. And then secondly, the two are so reliant on one another. Without rural America, nobody in the cities eats. And as we could see today with the windmills, a lot of the energy is coming from out here. And rural America would have a much worse way of life if the companies that ran the electricity, the internet, all the products and services that come out here to make this life convenient and nice, if that didn't exist, well, it'd be a tough go. So both are very reliant on each other. They just don't see each other face to face a lot of times. So if you live in Chicago, get out here, check it out. It's really cool. Met great people today. If you live out here, I suggest getting into the city from time to time. If you don't, just to get that different perspective. So thanks for coming along on that journey, guys. Until the next one.